Hello everyone, this is Collector of All Things, and welcome back to my wish list. And this one, I'm going to be focusing directly on Forces of Valor. I love this line of die-cast military vehicles, and I've narrowed it down to 5 vehicles that I wish I could add to my collection. I'm going to start with 2 airplanes, and then I'm going to move into tanks. So without further ado, let's get into this list. And we're going to start with a 1/32 scale airplane. This is actually a Spitfire, and they do make different versions of the Spitfire, different color patterns and different versions throughout the war. I just picked one at random right here. I would love to have any one of them in my collection due to the high detail that they offer. And the opening cockpit, they include some figurines with it too, which adds to the allure of the actual model itself, and just the overall detail that they're able to do at this level that they can't do at the 1/72 scale. I just truly like these planes. One knock that I have for me in my collection is the actual size. Now, like I said, I moved up a scale, and it gives you more detail. But the disadvantage is that it takes up a lot more space in your collection. Me being the collector that I am, space is always at a premium. So when you double the scale, you lose that space. And you tend to fill up, I could probably put roughly about 3 planes in the same size area that I would put one of these planes when I'm looking at the 1/72 scale. With that aside, I would love to add one of these to my collection. Now, Forces of Valor, of course, they stopped making these models. Recently, they've been bought out by Walter and Sons, and they're starting up again. They're going to use some of their old molds, and it looks like they're going to start reproducing these ones. They haven't announced the 1/32 scale for their airplanes yet, but I have no doubt that with what I've been seeing on the market, they're probably going to come out with these again. And they're even talking about possibly improving some of these older molds. So if they do come out again at a reasonable price, I'm definitely going to be snatching one of these up. Next in my list, like I said, I'm going to be staying with an airplane, is again in the 1/32 scale. And since I have that beautiful Spitfire, I thought I would add in a German Messerschmitt. So we're looking at the Bf-109G. And this is an incredible plane. And again, Forces of Valor found a way to reproduce it in the 1/32 scale and have blown me away with the detail that they're able to add in. The opening cockpit, again, having some figurines that come with it, retractable landing gear, flaps that open, the coloring, there's, like I said, a lot of different versions, so you could find one that would match your collection that you would like. Yeah, just truly blown away. This is definitely another aircraft that I would love to add to my collection. One thing too is I'm really into this World War II military style, and Forces of Valor has captured the imagination, and it is just strictly beautiful. Now, next in my line, I'm going to move from aircraft into tanks, and these ones are close to my heart. Again, I'm going to be moving up in scale from what I normally collect, which is the 1/32 scale, which I find has really good detail, and you can have figurines with it. This one, though, is the 1/16 scales. These are behemoths. They're huge, they're heavy, and yes, they take up a lot of space. But the detailing just goes that much higher when you move into this level. So we're looking at the first one. I mean, I would remiss without taking a Sherman tank and adding it into the bunch. So we'll start with the limited edition Sherman tank 1/16 scale from Forces of Valor. Now this tank is incredible. The coloring, the detail, just off the charts. It has opening hatches. Again, I mentioned that you can have figurines, and they're even more highly detailed at this level. You have a turning turret. You have a full suspension with a metal track. Unbelievable. You even have an opening engine bay with a detailed engine. Again, I think they've raised their game with this. They've blown it out of the park. Of course, they ask a premium in price, and in the secondary market, these things have skyrocketed. But if you're a collector and you like tanks and you're looking for that centerpiece, this is one of those ones that you can add in, and it will definitely be that. Moving along, I have to go on to one of my favorite tanks, the Tiger 1. And this one has an extra special little piece to it. It is a limited edition, and it's based on the Michael Whitman Last Stand, so his final battle. This one is a beautiful tank and has that, of course, 007 moniker that was actually on the tank. This had nothing to do with James Bond, but this was actually the number of the tank that he used in his last battle. And again, this one takes the same detailing you have with the Sherman and even goes a step higher with, of course, more opening hatches, more detailing, and the motor also, which is in this version removable. So with the Sherman, where it was static inside, you open the hatch and you can see it. This one you can actually pull the motor out. Again, with the working suspension, metal tracks, beautiful paint scheme, unbelievable. This one, if the Sherman's a centerpiece, this is definitely would be another one of those centerpieces for your collection. Or if you were looking to have the two tanks, the Sherman and the Tiger, and incredible. Michael Whitman was a tank ace, was an incredible commander in World War II. For obviously, whether you're looking at either the Allied or Axis forces, he was probably the most successful tank commander until the Allied forces put a stop to him before the end of the war. But no one can take it away, the success that he had in World War II. With that Tiger, he was able to take on columns of Shermans and just wipe them out. There are a lot of stories about him, mythical, how he was just able to charge an entire line of armored vehicles and come out on top with his one Tiger. So that one, again, is a special piece, limited edition, beautiful paint scheme, incredible detailing, and of course the association with Michael Whitman. Finally, last on my list, and this one, I mean, is, if you talk about a grail piece, this one would be it. This one is the King Tiger from Forces of Valor. Again, another limited edition. But this one takes everything we've been looking at up until this point and just brings it up another 100%. The detailing is off the charts on this one. This one you can actually do an exploded view of the tank, meaning you can take the pieces off and actually see what's underneath the armor. The outside is incredibly detailed, but when you start taking it apart, you see the inside, and you can see, they actually have metal shells on the inside for the gun. You actually can take it apart and see where the driver sat. You can see where the radio officer sat. You could see where the breech loader is, where they actually loaded in those metal shells that come with it. You can actually see inside the turret. This one takes everything and brings it up. This is the grail piece of the Forces of Valor line. Highly, highly expensive on the secondary market. Wasn't cheap when it came out, but even more expensive now, probably about 3 times what it was when it came out. But again, this is a piece that would really cap your collection if you were into military tanks and, like I said, Forces of Valor. Not going into model kits, pre-built, die-cast with everything inside it. This one does what everything else did, the full working suspension, metal treads, and just brings it up, like I said, to a level not seen before. I hope that this line will continue. I hope that they do come out with something else as detailed as this, because one day I would love to add this to my collection. Again, the only knock again is the incredible size. This thing is so big that it had to be shipped in a wooden crate. So it comes in a wooden ammo box, and inside it is all the accessories, and they're an incredible amount of accessories. I mean, just the shells alone, it's unbelievable. So for the fact that this, I mean, you can actually display the tank on the crate, but for the fact that this is just a feat of engineering at this level, at this type, this shows that there was someone who actually liked what they were doing, wanted to build the ultimate model at the die-cast level, and they did. So anyone can see why I like and the passion that I have for Forces of Valor. If you are lucky to own any one of these, good on you. And if anyone out there has one and they're tired of it, you can definitely send it along to me. I would love to have any one of these 5 on my wish list as part of my collection. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the look at my wish list for Forces of Valor vehicles. And if you did, don't forget to put a like. Don't forget to subscribe. I want to thank all my subscribers, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.